Hi, I'm Ryan Vickers. Today I'm going to be talking to you about my interpersonal communication project from HSCO 508 at Liberty University. This project took a lot of self-reflection and deep thought to accomplish. So I hope me getting sappy for a few minutes doesn't turn you off to what I'm going to say. Let's talk about my overarching goal for a little bit. This took a lot of reflection, thought, brainstorming to come up with. So here it is. To be the best Christian, husband, father, officer, leader, and person possible to those around me. That will show passion and compassion through charity, generosity, and meaningful communication. Alright, enough about the goals. Let me tell you about myself for a little bit. I grew up in a Christian house as the youngest of two. When I was 5 years old, my parents divorced, and that caused a lot of issues for me as a child, a teenager, and even into my adulthood now. Eventually my parents both remarried, and with their new marriages came new siblings and new family dynamics I had to learn. Now I'm in the Air Force, I'm married, I'm on my own, and you'd think I'd have great communication skills based on everything I've gone through and everything I am in right now. But that's far from the case. I actually struggle with communication a lot. You may be asking, Ryan, how can you be struggling with interpersonal communication with everything you've gone through? Well, let's start by analyzing personality blend and behavioral blend. Behavioral blend is personality traits and actions that impact how I interact with others and how others interact with me. After taking the Uniquely You personality test, it was found that I expect people to think of me as competent and stable. I will either know the answer or I will know how to find the answer. I can stay calm, cool, collected under pressure, which is great for the job I'm in the Air Force. But I'm not expected to be the center of attention. I'm expected to kind of just make sure everything happens from the background and ensure everyone has all their skills and knowledge that they need to accomplish everything that they're going to. I'm not bossy, which is kind of unique being in the military, as most people kind of think we have that dominant personality and can get our way no matter what we're trying to do. That's not necessarily the case for me. I'm often seen as someone that's kind of a pushover. I have a hard time saying no to people, and that creates a lot of issues with my job currently. The second graph that is shown in the Uniquely You personality test shows that I am a competent, stable, and I have a dominating personality at times. I like to be in charge while cautiously moving forward. So I like to know what I'm doing, but I need that information to know how to get there. I present myself to be confident and courageous and act like I know what I'm doing and have everything together, but deep down I'm always craving more information, and driving for that information can cause doubt in me. If you have a plan and stick to it, I will gladly follow you and be very submissive in doing so. But if you don't stick to your plan, I have a hard time following you. I have a plan for everything, from grocery shopping to vacation planning. I have a timeline and a list for everything I'm trying to accomplish. My leadership style is, I prefer to lead by example, but I prefer to do so in small and informal settings as opposed to large groups. Alright, enough about that. Let's get a little sappy for now. So, remember how I said that I had issues growing up as a child being a product of divorce? I'm going to caveat this and say I was never physically abused. However, I did have psychological abuse happen repeatedly through my childhood and even into my young adulthood from my father. He would say very harmful and hurtful things to me that would question my motives, my morals, my values, my life choices. And even to this day, I dread seeing a missed call or text from him just because I don't know what he's going to say to me that's going to bring me down this time. My father treated my brother and I as if we were more of workers and not necessarily his children. He never showed us the love, affection, compassion, affirmation, or pride that kids are expecting from their parents. We're more viewed as workers or possessions, if you will. So while I'm not allowing him to have the power to psychologically abuse me anymore, he still says harmful things to me, and it just degrades me and makes me feel down and not really wanting to open up to people. So the actions and resulting byproducts of the actions my father has taken have caused massive communication barriers to be built up, and they're hard to knock down. I'm unable to disclose much about my past, and due to repressed memories and emotions, I have a hard time expressing those now. It may not be I'm having issues currently, but due to not being able to express my emotions as a child, I can't necessarily do that now when I need to the people that matter to me. And this has caused me to have difficulty in distinguishing my own verbal and nonverbal communication skills. My wife has often accused me of either not listening or not responding to her when she's talking to me, or tuning her out or something to those lines. And it's not great for our marriage or our communication. And going along with the whole idea of not necessarily understanding my verbal and nonverbal communication, I get very inquisitive when I am listening to people, and it's not my job to fix everything. Peterson advises us, it says that it's in a guy's DNA to try and fix everything, but advises us against that. It's not our goal to fix everything, and I need to internalize that and move on and not try to fix everyone's problems. I need to listen, understand, and provide support to them, but not fix everything. So what resources and strategies do I have to overcome these massive and often insurmountable communication barriers? Well, David Johnson said, self-disclosure is not supposed to be about the past unless the past actively impacts the present. I need to internalize that and realize my past doesn't always impact where I am today. And I need to be in the moment and realize, okay, this is what's going on, and let's get through this situation right now. One of my best resources is my wife. She's kind of peeled back the onion, if you will, and broken down my communication barriers. She's allowed me to express emotions and memories to her that I've not expressed to anyone else. So I rely on her to help pull me through these barriers and help me overcome them. All right, now that I've aired all my dirty laundry, let's try and go a little happy and talk about how I'm going to achieve my life goal. To be the best Christian I can be, I need to get involved in a men's group at church and just build those Christian relationships that are going to foster friendships and a relationship with Christ. I need to get involved in a ministry at church just to give back to the community and have that sense of purpose. Paul tells us to pray no matter the season that we're in, and a strong prayer life will cause us to have a better communication life. And if we're able to communicate with God, we're able to communicate with those around us. To be the best husband I can, I need to look at Christ's relationship with the church and model my own marriage after that. I need to love my wife as Christ loved the church and sacrifice everything if I have to for her. To be the best father I can, I have the perfect example of what not to do, and that's a great learning point to turn around and give my children what I didn't have as a child, which is love, affection, compassion, pride, and just giving them a sense of accomplishment. I need to look towards the Bible and God's direction for us to raise my children. He tells us, train a child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he'll not turn away from it. That's great advice for us. If we teach our children how to behave and what to think and talk like, they're not going to turn away from it if we've trained them right. As an officer, to become a better officer, I need to internalize and live out the Air Force core values of integrity first, service before self, excellence in all we do. Once I do that, people are going to start looking to me as that officer I'm expected to be. I also need to slow down my thinking and my communication and speak clearly. I often struggle with effectively communicating what I'm trying to think or what I'm trying to say. And it could come off as I'm either a know-it-all or I don't know what's going on and I'm just trying to bluff my way through the situation. Neither of which is good. I just need to slow down and clearly talk through everything I'm trying to say. One of my inspirations in the military once said, "Never expect your men to do something you yourself have not done." This means I need to lead by example, and it leads exactly into how to be a better leader. As an officer, I'm automatically a leader. And people look up to me. So to be a better leader, I need to know who I'm dealing with, the people around me. That way I can build that rapport with somebody so that they can go out and do what I'm asking them to do. I need to be looking towards Jesus' example of servant leadership in my own life. Jesus washed the feet of his disciples. I need to serve those around me so that they can better themselves to follow what I'm trying to get them to follow, not just order them around and expect them to follow me blindly. A key piece of leadership is humility. Oftentimes where I work at, there are a lot of egos that are flying around and it's a very high-paced, fast world and people are always trying to one-up each other. I need to realize that God placed me in this leadership position and he can take me away from it at any given time. And it's not me that is the leader, it's Christ through me that is the leader. So I'm going to leave you with one piece of information and advice that Jesus told his disciples. But I tell you that men will have to give an account on the day of judgment for every careless word they have spoken. For by your words you will be acquitted, and by your words you will be condemned. This means everything that we say matters. Our communication matters. If we say harsh or abusive words, we're not effectively communicating, and we're going to have to respond to those to the ultimate king and judge. That's mind-boggling to me, and it's just something that we need to internalize, that what we say matters and how we say it matters.